Hey my little party animals, hiphiprenee here today with a brand new series for you. This is going to be a very quick little informational type of series. I am going to call it Building 101 for lack of a better name, but the first video that we are doing is we are going to take a very quick look at bb.moveObjects. So bb.moveObjects is a cheat code within The Sims 4 that when you have it turned on, it allows you to place things in a very different way than when it is off. So when bb.moveObjects is off, everything is going to kind of just, have to be in its own place. You can't place things directly next to each other, directly next to walls, directly next to doorways, or anything like that. And you can also not move objects up and down when you do not have move objects on. So I currently have move objects off, and over here on this left side, we have a move objects off room. So you'll notice everything is basically in its place. We only have 3 things on each of these little tables, which is basically how many items you can kind of get on there. Sometimes you can finagle in 1 or 2 more, but not usually. We have a lamp alone on the end table because, again, placing anything else there, it would place too closely and not allow you to do that. And then up on these shelves here, we have things that snap to shelves. You cannot place things that do not snap to a shelf on a shelf if it won't snap. How many more times can I say snap? You also cannot put furniture very close to each other. So you can't put this bookshelf directly next to this little table here. You cannot place the end table directly next to these couches. And we cannot get this table over here to back up directly to the couch with move objects off. We also have this mirror here that is very, very low down. We have this coat rack that is kind of sitting pretty far away from the actual doorway. And we have this easel that has to have its own space over here. So if you do want to turn move objects on, the first thing that you need to do is open up the cheat panel. And the way that you do that is you hit Control-Shift-C, which opens up this little box in the top left-hand corner, and you type in bb.moveObjects. So that says Move Objects Cheat is on. You can hit Control-Shift-C to get rid of that text box. And now we are able to place items in the same way that I place them over here on this side. So if you'll notice, over on this side, we have essentially the same room, but we do have a lot more clutter. The first thing that you'll notice is this end table is very close to this couch here. We have these backpacks that are extremely close to the couch. We have the laundry that is right underneath this table here. We have a nice little setup here with the bookshelf directly next to this table and the easel kind of tucked in next to them. And then we also have all of these items up here on these shelves that wouldn't typically snap to a shelf. So again, the first thing that you can do with bb.moveObjects is put items extremely close to each other. So the way that you would do that is just normally by placing an item. So I'm going to pick this backpack here. If you want to be able to smoothly move items, you hit the Alt key while you are placing them. And I can place this right up against the couch. I can place it in the actual... I can put it like literally wherever I want. It does not matter where it goes. I can stick it in the couch if I wanted to. So you do have to be careful if you are noticing items are clipping into each other, or if, say for instance, I put these items right next to this doorway, the likelihood of Tara being able to leave this room is pretty low because these items would block her path. So you do have to just kind of pay attention, maybe play test your builds a little bit more if you are placing items very, very close to something else. The second thing we're going to take a look at is this coat rack right here. So you'll notice these coat racks are basically in the same place, but the no move objects on coat rack is just kind of like hanging out in no man's land, whereas the move objects coat rack is very close to the wall. It's not clipping into the wall. It's not in the way of the door. Tara can still leave this room by going through this door, but it looks a little bit more realistic rather than taking up all of this space just to have a coat rack out in the middle of the room. So that is really nice that you can kind of get objects really close to walls or doors just to kind of give yourself a little bit more space. I could probably get some plants up in here if I wanted to. For instance, this one. I could stick this, just right behind the coat rack, and it's all going to work very well. Whereas if I tried to do it over here with move objects off, it wouldn't quite work. You can't place two items directly next to each other like that. The third thing we are going to take a look at is these mirrors right here. And these mirrors is because, again, moving the objects up and down is something that you can only do with move objects on. So when you have move objects off, mirrors are kind of a fixed point as far as the Sims are concerned. You place the mirror, you cannot move it up and you cannot move it down. You can move it side to side along its own little plane, but that's basically it. So this is a little bit too low for me. So what I did is I came over here to this side and I hit the control button and use on the top of my keyboard the numbers. 0 will bring an item down and 9 will bring an item up. So I just used that 9 key and I moved that item up. It looks a little bit more realistic as far as where the mirror is hanging, and personally I just think it adds a little bit to the build. The final thing that we are going to take a look at is items that do not snap to shelves. So if you notice, these shelves over here have a lot of items on them. We have these baskets that I sized down. We have the plates. We have a little picture frame. We have some books, some lemons, some cookies, and this little kind of planter thing that I also moved down. So if I wanted to place something, let's just take this guy off for right now. And say I wanted to place these books. These books do not snap. And by snapping, I mean they don't automatically, if you notice, they're kind of going into this lamp over here on the end table because it's snapping to that area. But they will not snap to this. There's just certain items, like things like this will snap. Other items don't. I don't know why that is. I don't know if there is any sort of rhyme or reason to why that is, but there is an easy fix to this. If you have move objects on, what you can do is hit the control button and then hit the 9 key. The 9 key is going to raise that item up, and then you can place that item kind of wherever you'd like it. Now, technically, these items are not sitting on this shelf. They are actually floating. So if I take this shelf away, these books and these little kind of baskety things are just hanging out in no man's land. If that's something that bothers you when you're playing, then you do not need to use this trick, but I really like decorating for aesthetics rather than function and purpose. So I think something like this is really cute because you can just add a ton of things. I did that over here with this table right here. I did it with this table over here. I actually used the 9 key to get the TV up onto this table because it does not snap to it. And if you notice, below the TV, I actually used the Zen Garden that I'm pretty sure comes with base game. I used that to kind of make it look like it was propping the TV up because the TV was floating. You will not always get a perfect up and down when you're hitting the 9 key. Either the things are going to look like they're sitting on a table, or maybe they look like they're sunken into the table. Maybe they look like they're hovering over it, and this was hovering a little bit. So I did just fix that by, just kind of repurposing the Zen Garden to make it look like that's what the TV was sitting on. I also did it over here with this table. So you just have all of these items really close, really next to each other. And both of these rooms are equally as functional as each other. So our friend Ryan over here can go get a book from the bookshelf. He can go over here and paint on the easel. He can sit on either of these couches. The same thing with our friend Tara over here. Tara can sit and watch TV. Ryan doesn't even get a TV because this isn't a console table, so the TV will not snap to it, which is really frustrating. She can use either of these couches. She can head over to this bookshelf and use the bookshelf, and she can also use the easel. And both of them have a clear way out of this room by using this door. So that is our very, very quick just little look at how to use bb.move objects. If you do have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them. And make sure you are subscribed to my channel, because the next tutorial that we are doing is a little mini tutorial on how to roof. So what I've done is I've created 3 of the exact same base layout of a house, and I have roofed that house in 3 different ways to show you 3 different ways that you can go through and make the same layout look very, very different just by using roofing. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.